Still on this Morning Scramble. Glad to have you here. Daniel Thrasher is in.
Good morning.
And he's in charge of, you're not in charge of the Coyle Foundation, but you're a big part of it, right?
Yeah, I'm on the board for the Coyle School Foundation. Proud graduate of Coyle. Was a school that gave so much back to me. I was fortunate to go there from kindergarten all the way through graduating, and my mom worked there. Been a big impact in my life. And so after graduating from Coyle and then later from college, Julie Weathers contacted me and said, "Hey, would you like to serve on the Coyle School Foundation board?" I'm like, sure. So started helping out in that way. And for me, it's been a great way to give back to some educators who gave so much to me. And one of those people is on the phone, Shane Weathers, who was my very first basketball coach at Coyle. And those of you that are familiar with the school district, basketball, especially in those days, was kind of a way of life at Coyle. And so my first basketball coach, and I had the chance to play baseball with him, and he was also an assistant coach on our high school teams that went to a couple state tournaments, and he was my driver's ed teacher. I mean, just all kinds of stuff. But
if we could bring Shane in, Shane, when are you going to retire Daniel's number?
Yeah, he's trying to make me retire right now by telling me all that stuff right now.
Hey, welcome to the show. You've been in studio before, and nice to have you on here. And first of all, let's get an update on where we are with the school schedule and how you're proceeding in Coyle, because I think people know the story with Superintendent Zink testing positive to start off his career there, actually, but immediately made that decision. Where are we as far as proceeding with classes there?
Well, we are out of school right now doing virtual learning. We went to Plan C on our plan. We have an A, B, C plan. We went to Plan C. Disinfecting the school again. We have, I guarantee you, there is not a virus living in this surface of our school. We've cleaned so much. But we wanted to go ahead and make our patrons and our students all safe and feel safe. So we have tested all our staff and teachers. And when we did that this past Monday, we had 4 more positives come up. So we have extended it now another week. Just to make sure that everything is going to be clear. And we will resume back building September 8th after Labor Day and try again. So we all want to have in-school learning this year. This virus is making it very tough. We still live kind of day by day by what the state tells us in the CDC guidelines that we try to follow. So we're just trying to do the best we can and make sure all our students and staff stay safe.
Now, when you say you had 4 positives, and you don't have to tell me anything that you don't want to or is private, but were those teachers?
2 were teachers and 2 were staff.
Okay, very good. And asymptomatic, are they feeling fine?
They are feeling fine. They had a low-grade fever as of yesterday when I called them, but other than that symptoms, really hardly anything showing up at all.
So, Coach, what about the virtual learning experience at Coyle? How does that look, and what are you guys doing to provide that experience for students?
At Coyle, especially in the secondary, it's quite easy to go virtual because we're a one-to-one school, which means every student has a computer or a laptop type iPad in their hands, and they take those home, and every student has an email address. And we have software that we use, one of them is called Edgenuity that we use quite often. We have others that we use also. But we're trying right now to extend it down into the elementary, which we are now down into the 4th grade. Some 3rd graders have iPads too. And we have purchased a lot more this year, and we're even got some iPads in the lower elementary, pre-K through 3. So some of those essential students that are getting those in their hands, we've got hotspots on hand.
Yep.
So the only problem with the hotspot is if a family does not have internet access, we can use those, but we have families that live in areas that do not even have service.
Right.
I mean, they can't get service. So, that's a problem. So we're trying to get some places in our communities, Coyle, Langston, or Meridian, where we can have a gathering place where they could come and park and reach the hot spots that way.
Yeah, we last night we had a Coyle School Foundation board meeting, and Mr. Weathers was even saying, if they have to put a hotspot on a bus and drive it
Wow.
somewhere, and so people
Yeah.
can come and park around that bus to do schoolwork, they'll make, they're looking at solutions like that. So, and that brings up the importance of rural internet access. And I know you've had state representatives on the show talking about that before, Steve, but the importance of that in this situation shows that. And I applaud Coyle. I don't know how many years ago, Coach, it was that you guys went to that one-to-one technology situation for your high school students. It's been several years, but that was such a forward-thinking thing at the time. And now in this situation, they're prepared when they do have to go virtual.
And and with the foundation in the past, some of the things, it seems like early on, Daniel, we've done this you've been coming on the show for 15 years,
Probably,
I think.
yeah.
It seems like some of the things were into technology a little bit.
Yeah.
And so that's always been an emphasis, hasn't it?
Sure, it has. It's definitely, because it's been an emphasis of the school and the administration and people like Coach Weathers, who have seen the importance of having that ability for their students. And so that's something that we've been raising funds for, to help when teachers need supplies or things like that, to be able to provide those for the school. So, Coach, I know sports are an important part of our lives, and that's you being the former head football coach and who started the football program at Coyle and has coached several sports there. Do you have any updates on the extracurricular activities that are going on at the school while you're doing virtual learning?
Yes, we have now canceled all sports activities until September 8th. We tried to bring them in and do a small group. We just don't feel like if we're not going to let them into the building, student-wise learning, then we don't need to be chancing any of our student athletes either. So we have canceled everything till September 8th. Excuse me. So they're eager to get on the field. We've got coaches in place and students eager to play. But right now safety's first. We all love our athletics, especially me, but that's one of those things that is put in the backside right now, and we're going to wait till September 8th to resume. That puts a lot of strain on our athletics. We're going to have to going into week 2. Actually, our kids getting first contact with an opponent. So Hopefully we can put together a season. Our softball girls got to play some games before we went out. They just missed the tournament, so they're missing a lot of games. They're going to be going in the district in about 2.5 weeks. So that just puts a strain on the team and the coaches. But we're still excited, and we want to get back. We want to get things going, but we're just going to have to do our process and our protocols first.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned district there. Anybody else in the district that's kind of suffered the same fate and had to shut down? Because I think we're going to see other schools. What's happening in Stillwater right now, and I don't know what they've decided in Enid, but their numbers are through the roof as far as how many have tested positive or quarantined there.
I saw those numbers yesterday in Enid. That was just amazing.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's going to be more. We kind of had a lot of eyes on us. We were one of the first schools to open up, to start school. A lot of people were watching us. We had a few cases come up, and we had to do our virtual. I'm sure. I think it's going to happen all year long. We're going to get back in. There's nobody that's going to be immune from this. It's a virus that spreads rapidly. The only thing we can do is try to keep our mask on, keep our distance, and make sure that we are following all the guidelines, keep cleaning the buildings. And we've got machines. I mentioned about the foundation that Daniel's a part of there, that they do a great job. Anytime we need something, we talked about the hot spots. Our foundation is brought up that they would help us buy some more hot spots, and maybe some that have a wider range. Our foundation steps up, and they always told us that we need to, as a school, think outside the box, and they would help us. Well, now they're helping us, and we're basically inside the box. We're living in the COVID-19 world right now, that we need to have some things that our schools can't afford. I mean,
Yeah.
we did get some CARES Act money, but you know, that only goes so far. And we appreciate our foundation of our school that can really help our school out with funding.
Well, and some people may forget, Coach, but you guys kind of maybe had a practice run of this a little bit last year, but the school actually had to close down a couple of days for the flu because you had a
Yes.
flu outbreak last year, and then brought in equipment to clean the school and do that. So you almost even last year had a dry run of this.
Yeah. So we're pretty good. We can clean this whole building with all the machines and fogging machines we have pretty quick.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't envy you, and we really appreciate all the administrators, and health is and you mentioned before, and we're very eloquent. I thought about safety is first and foremost, so take care of yourselves, and thanks for all you do down there, because everybody's just trying to feel their way through this, and it seems like you've almost got a head start on everybody. So thanks for your input, and anytime you need us, give us a shout. We'll get the word out.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for having me.
You
Yeah,
bet.
thanks, Coach.
There you go. There is Shane Weathers, who's the principal at Coyle Public Schools, and appreciate lining him up, Daniel.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it would be good to hear from Coach Weathers this morning and what he does. And I'll just a real quick plug for the Coyle School Foundation. We talked last night about we normally do a teacher grant program in the fall and spring. Well, some of our teachers are saying, well, we're not going to be doing normal classroom activities. Maybe those funds could be used in other ways that could help the school. And so hotspots came up both from Coach Weathers and also Chad Maker, who's on the school board for the school and was sitting in our meeting last night. And so we told them, hey, if that's the grant request you need, make that request. So it's a great example of how people, and I know times are tough, but if you have the ability to give and you're looking for places to give, local school foundations are a great path to do that. We'll probably be doing a grant request to buy as many hotspots as we can, so that way we can get them out, and hopefully the school can get them in kids' hands that can use them and be able to distance learn when. And as Coach said, and I agree with him, I think we'll probably be going through this for a while, where sometimes we're in school, sometimes we're not in school, and so that'll be the case for a while now. So appreciate their leadership at the school and what they're doing to keep the kids safe. And if you have any ways to give back, there's two school foundations that I'm familiar with, the one here in Stillwater with SPEF, and then also the Coyle School Foundation. Great avenues for you to get involved and help your local schools.
Well said.